Hello, and welcome to One Take, episode 11. Wait, 11. That'll work. Now, you might notice that this is suspiciously similar to episode 10. And that's because this is a continuation of episode 10, one day later. You see? Now, yes, this is being recorded on the same day, but I think you can live with it. So, when we left off, the dinosaurs had died out because a meteorite, crash landed Gulf of Mexico near the Yucatan Peninsula and caused basically a lot of climate change, It was basically a gigantic volcanic eruption with a giant rock. And it caused smaller volcanic eruptions, but those weren't really the cause. Just massive amounts of ash. It was probably dark for the better part of a century, just because of all the ash and whatnot. I'm estimating that it was about a century. It might have been 10 years. It was some divisible by 10 kind of thing. So, no more dinosaurs, They're still small, rodenty things, about 5-10 pounds. Now's their time to shine. So, 2.5 million years ago. That's when we sort of walked nimbly onto the scene. In those, 63 million years, we'd kind of made a name for ourselves. We were, and by ourselves I mean mammals, we had made a name for ourselves in that we, had large evolutionary things, We were technically we were outlasting the dinosaurs technically by this point. And we'd started to grow, maybe, fox size, maybe like a wolf every now and again, that kind of thing. But 2.5 million years ago, our first ancestor came onto the scene. So there were primitive gorillas, and then there were us, which were very not much higher. The only difference being, slightly larger brains. Then, gonna fast forward a little bit, right? Crash of the crash course. In between 2.5 million and 200,000 years ago, we evolved from basically gorillas, into what we have today, anatomically speaking. So, we went from a brain about the size of a walnut into these. About, size of your fist, like this. Like this. This. A couple of fists. Nice big brain. Look at that. So, in between these times, it was kind of biffy. Right? There were several leading competitors in the evolutionary arms race. There were Cro-Magnons, which were basically modern humans, and there were Neanderthals. This is near the end, by the way. We're not going to go over the Homo habilis, that kind of thing. Mostly because I don't remember it and it doesn't say anything on my list. Now, Cro-Magnon versus Neanderthal. It wasn't really a versus. It was more like, hey, Neanderthal, gonna eat all your elk, okay? And the Neanderthal were like, what? No, don't eat. Aww. And then they killed him. Or mated with them. You'll be surprised. A large number of people do have small, very small amounts of actual Neanderthal DNA within them. Especially those in Europe, which is kind of where the Neanderthal... How they got there, really, I'm not sure of. They seem to have been the only group to be in Europe. They probably just messed it up or something. So then, Cro-Magnon comes along, eats all their stuff, pillages all their places. Vikings, basically. Just really, really early Vikings. And then everyone was like, hey, let's have big brains and like learn languages. And everyone was like, good idea. And that brings us up to 200,000 years ago, when we have us as, if you went in through a time machine, you'd be like, yeah, that looks a lot like me, in a kind of way, kind of dirty looking, but 25,000 years ago, Neanderthals, gone, no more of them. Then, 13,000 years ago, it's just us at this point. We've killed everything else that even competed with us by 13,000 years ago, which is kind of important, let's be honest, because what if we hadn't? There'd just be us, and then there'd be Bigfoot. They're basically, people have theorized that Bigfoot is indeed a primitive ancestor of ours to some extent, kind of a missing link kind of thing, even though there are no longer missing links. Everyone is just like, I'm not really sure what happened there, whatever. Because, leaps and bounds. Evolution goes by leaps and bounds. And there you have it. Starting about 10,000 years ago, 3,000 years after we killed everything else besides us, and partially us, agriculture started to begin. Before that, it was kind of, berries, nom nom. Deer, stab, nom nom. Maybe cooking the deer every now and again, up to them. But then, 10,000 years ago, as I said, they kind of hunkered down. They were like, hey, how about instead, get this guys, get this, instead of us going around all over the freaking place, getting berries and hunting animals, why don't we just kind of, sit here and like get some wild grass and eat that, and then like we'll grow some more wild grass and eat that. And you know what, this large rock looking thing is actually kind of tasty. It's called a potato. And so that's how Ireland came about. It's okay for me to say that I'm Irish. Matey. I don't even know. So, agricultural revolution is the stopping point for this. If you have suggestions for things that you want me to talk about, because let's be honest, no one wants to just listen to me talk all day, except maybe my mom. And I don't even think she listens half the time, let's be honest. If you have anything you want to say, like, oh, Andy, you know what you should do? That loud ass fan you have over there, you should turn that off. And I'll say, okay, people, if this is really what you want, I will turn my fan off, even though it's the middle of the night. And I don't really need a fan, but it helps circulate the air and keeps me from dying. Fine. Be that way. Then I'll turn the fan off. If you say, Andy, I'd like to see you do things not in your bedroom late at night. So let's be honest, no one watches these videos late at night, because it's freaking late at night. It's 9:30 now. No one's up at 9:30. Well, normal people aren't on the internet looking at YouTube videos of people they don't know at 9:30. They're like on Tumblr. They're tumbling through Tumblr even. Is that copyrighted yet? I don't think it's copyrighted. No. Tumblr itself might be. I'm not even sure. Oh no, there's an earthquake. Stool. Shaky stool. So, suggestions, comments. If you want to maybe leave it a like. Say, you know what? This is good video. I like. If you just stumbled upon this by like, I don't know, seeing it in the suggested stuff from like a Korean pop artist, which totally hasn't happened at all, give it a like maybe if you understand English. I don't mean to be offensive, it's just, it's the wide world we have here, and a lot of it doesn't speak the same language of me. As me. Anyway, comment, like, Don't really favor it. That kind of creeped me out.